So about 7 years ago my friend asked me to donate sperm so she and her wife could have a baby. I told my wife when we started dating that I'd donated sperm, but we don't see the mother often, so she never added it up. The mother, who I'll call Amy since it's what her wife calls her, and I see each other a few times a year nowadays. I need to stress that he is not my son in any sense of the word, but the biological one. There was a ton of paperwork saying that I had no responsibility for him, had no parental rights, etc. All I was providing was DNA. So a week or so back we have our annual 4th of July BBQ and Amy and her wife and son come. So as we're cleaning, Amy catches me in the kitchen to inquire about my health, diabetic, and is asking if it's hereditary and whatnot since it's a recent diagnosis. Well, my wife's little brother overheard us talking and, not thinking, severely developmentally challenged, proceeded to tell my wife. In front of her entire family, including some cousins. So obviously my wife comes in and starts asking questions. She's more upset than angry. I never told her. So Amy and her wife take my wife to lunch a few days later and explain all the legality and paperwork. And that in all of our eyes I just gave them a gift. That smoothed things over and my wife understands and things are back to normal with us. However, her cousins have told everyone now and I keep getting messages about what an idiot I am for hiding this from her. They hope she leaves me, etc. Am I the idiot? My wife, her mother, and sister have been trying to tell her cousins to lay off, but they keep saying that they should be on their side instead of mine. I think it's very odd that you didn't mention that she would actually know who your biological son is, but it's also none of the cousins' business. Since your wife isn't mad, not the idiot. I still don't see why you wouldn't give her all the details up front though, especially if she's friendly with the parents. Despite what you say, it sounds like you were hiding, or didn't want it widely spread, that you had this biological child in your life. You shouldn't want to have any hidden information from your spouse IMO. This looks oddly like a post from about a month ago. You are the idiot for not telling her. The rest of the details don't matter. There shouldn't be any secrets. I'd feel betrayed if I was her, and not because you have a baby out there but because you didn't respect me enough to be honest at the beginning. How did you expect this to go? You don't think the child may end up looking like you. People just don't think. Like, this is functionally not something she needed to know. It'd be like a dude flipping out because he found out his wife once put a child up for adoption. You donated sperm to a friend, and she is now raising a boy who is biologically yours, but not yours in the raising sense, and that's the part that matters the most. In any case, your wife knew just not who had the boy, and this was a non-issue exploded entirely by unaffiliated irrelevant individuals who probably just wanted drama. I am 18 and this year I graduated from high school and applied for universities, and I got accepted to the university of my choice. In my country, universities are completely free, no tuition fee. I got accepted to university in my hometown, which would allow me to live at home and work part-time to help my mother with living cost, or I could go to university in another town to which I got scholarship based on my grades and exam results, meaning that I would have my dorm and food covered and could focus solely on my studies. I come from a large family. I am the oldest child of 8 and my mother is a single mom. My mother doesn't get child support from most of my siblings' dads, and she mostly gets alimony payments provided by the country, and she gets some social benefit payments as well. I told my mother about my university's options and she wasn't happy yet. She was discouraging me from applying in the first place, but I did it regardless. She originally wanted me to go to trade school instead of high school. After trade school, you cannot go to university because you lack qualifications. She wasn't happy. She told me that I shouldn't go because she needs me to go and find a full-time work. My mother doesn't work, so I can help with the cost of living. She also needs me to stay home because she needs help with my siblings. I really want to go, but my mother told my siblings, and my youngest sister cried because I am abandoning them. That's what my mother told them. I accepted the university place in secret and was planning on telling my mother just before I move out, but she opened up my letter regarding my scholarship and dorm and found out. She blew up at me, told me I didn't care about my siblings, that I am selfish and only think about myself. She accused me of being cruel and my little sister called me an idiot and my mother agreed. I am devastated now. Am I really an idiot for wanting to go to university? Should I stay and find a job? Not the idiot. Giving up in education now to help her financially would be foolish. A few years of education, and you'll be in a much better place to help your mother financially, if she still needs it and you want to. If your housing and food are taken care of, you will be saving her money. She's not feeding you. And she needs to figure out some type of job, because she's not going to be able to live off of what you can earn without a degree for the rest of her life. She also should, if possible, go back to the family court and petition that they enforce any child support that your siblings' fathers aren't paying. It's their job to support their children, not yours. And it is your mother's job to support you getting the education to allow you a good future, not demand that you sabotage the rest of your life to make up for her failures. Not the idiot. You didn't have 8 kids, your mother did. She doesn't work. Maybe it's time. It's called emotional instability when a parent parentifies one of their kids. This is emotional abuse. You are not her partner, nor are you responsible for raising your siblings. You need to forge your own path to independence, and doing as she wants will keep you stuck where you are. A good parent wants their child to develop their own life. Go to university and let mom handle her choices. Escape. Your mother made years and years of mistakes and bad decisions leading up to her current life. You are responsible for none of it. She is a crab in a bucket pulling your leg to bring you back down to never escape again. Don't let her. Live your own life and let her pay the price for her mistakes herself. If she has to chase someone for money, let it be the fathers of her children, not you. 16 here. My dad married my stepmom just about a year ago. She didn't want me to live here and wanted me gone. I've insisted that I should stay as I don't want to live with my mom. Her husband is a piece of work, so we're always clashing. She announced last month that she wouldn't allow me to eat anything she cooks, or cook anything that she buys, and I should arrange my own food completely separately, down to the ingredient level, including salt, because I'm not her problem to deal with. This is annoying, but anyway, I can handle it, and I didn't want to act entitled, so I started buying and cooking my own food. We've been going like this since then. Her sister had an accident a few days ago, and on the day of the accident, stepmother texted me in the afternoon saying she's bringing the sister's children over and they'll arrive around midnight. Asked me to buy groceries and snacks and make a late dinner for them. I never replied to her and didn't do anything. I have to say that while for a few hours it didn't look good for her sister and had to go into surgery, it ended up being successful and she will thankfully make a full recovery. They came. She noticed there's no food and they indeed were hungry, so she was angry at me and I told her that it's not my problem to deal with. And she said I'm being a jerk and I said takes one to know one. She ended up ordering pizza. My dad told me that I was out of line and I should have just done what she wanted me to do because it was an emergency, and I should have done a favor for her and it would have gone a long way to improve our relationship. I told him that our relationship has always been hopeless because she hated me for no reason, so there's nothing I can do that can make her hate me any less, and at this point I've accepted it and don't care anymore. He said it's not true and I'm now grounded. Not the idiot. And your father is the raging mega idiot in this scenario. How dare he let his wife say his child cannot eat their food? As a parent, if my fiancé were to say my child didn't get any of the food that we bought, or that he cooked, I'd be single so fast his head would spin. Being willing to at least be human to my child is a requirement of being with me, because I will always be a parent first. Oh, yeah, I'm ripped for your sake. Like suspect, my BP has spiked after reading this. She cut you out of the family. You do not owe her or her nieces or nephews anything. Not the idiot. She reaped what she sowed. Of course it would have been the bigger thing to help her. But you are a teen and been wronged by her ever since she knows you. What did she expect? And why didn't your father stand up for you? He should have clearly told her that she cannot expect love and help from a person she'd wronged so badly. She's the adult. She should have been civil with you at least and threatened you decently. But she'd choose to treat you like an unwelcome intruder in her house. Not even like a roommate, but worse. Not the idiot. You don't get to tell a kid they are exclusively responsible for their own food, cooking, and then expect them to do you a favor and cook for your family. Nope. The only way I'd consider it is if she paid me handsomely to cook. Otherwise, piss off. Because you know it wouldn't be the same if things were flipped. If you had an emergency and asked her to cook, she'd tell you to order something or deal with it yourself. From your comments, you're coping well with an incredibly bad situation. I hope you can put some money away so you can move out as soon as possible. I wanted to get a second degree and a job, but everybody, including my husband, thought I was being ridiculous. It caused a lot of tension and fights between us, but eventually my husband agreed to let me get the degree, which meant we were living in separate countries and had different schedules for the first time. We were at a party and his cousin invited us to go on a trip with the family. My husband accepted without asking me, but I said I couldn't go as I had classes then. He told me to skip them and he would handle it if I got into trouble, but I told him I wouldn't and we had a small argument, but we resolved the issue. A few days later, his brother told my husband that he let me get away with too much and that it was time he stopped indulging my ridiculous wants all of the time, since I was willing to humiliate him in public. He said everybody, including my dad, felt that my husband was far too lenient with me. I was angry and upset, so I had a fight with my brother-in-law. It got so bad my husband had to intervene. I haven't seen my brother-in-law since, but his engagement party is coming up and my husband and in-laws all expect me to go. I told my husband I wouldn't because I don't like him, but he got very angry and said he's given in every single time, but he needed me to do this one thing for him. His sister has been trying to convince me to go, and my brother-in-law even apologized to try to convince me. Am I the idiot? If even your brother-in-law apologized, I think you should go. It will make your husband happy and give him a win he can show his family. You won't seem vindictive. And if your BAL or any of your husband's family causes problems for you there, then you will have a perfect reason for always refusing to attend their events. You can't lose by going. If it all runs smoothly or if it all falls apart, you come out looking good. You are the idiot. He's sacrificing for you, a lot. He's paying for your education and most likely every other expense as well, because your second degree is more important to you than your relationship with your husband. He's not wrong. He's doing everything and you're just fighting and belittling him everywhere. If you have any kindness left in you, work with him. But, by the sound of it, once you get all you need, you're going to leave him, aren't you? Everyone's the idiot here. Yes, the BAL has behaved badly, and no, you're not property, but he also apologized to try to make nice. It doesn't look like your husband is going to split from his family, so you have to ask yourself if you want to stay married. Be clear with your husband though that if you attend, the moment BAL says something horrible again that demeans you as a person, either he will step in to tell BAL to apologize and stay out of your relationship, or you both need to leave. I'm 35. I'm one of 6 kids. I have 3 kids, 14, 10, and 8. In honor of my late husband, I take my nieces and nephews on a road trip with me and my kids every summer. DH and I were kids at heart ourselves. He loved everything about being a family man. This was something he started, so I'm keeping up the tradition. My sister 45 and I had a pretty bad falling out years ago. My late husband is her ex's brother. I was 4 and she was 14 when she was dating this ex. They got married right out of high school and divorced due to him cheating like 5 or 6 years later. They share 4 children together. Till this day things between them are very bitter and toxic. I was 18 when I started dating my late husband. I was given a choice to choose between her or him once she learned about us. He had done nothing to her as he too was a young boy when she and his brother were dating. She hates her ex's entire family, so he was guilty by association. Once I told her she couldn't run my life. She vowed to never let me be in her and her kids' lives, and she's stuck to that all these years. Our kids have only been in each other's presence during holiday visits to our parents or family gatherings. Outside of that, nothing. Even in each other's presence, she doesn't speak to me or look my way. She treated my husband the same. Our family has tried to get her to let this go, but she won't. I've tried reaching out to break the ice on my own, but she's always shut me down. Christmas, birthdays, special occasions, I've always sent something to her and her children, but my family and I never received anything in return. A few years ago, my husband passed. You would think that she would reach out and give her condolences, but no. She didn't attend his funeral, nothing. A year ago, she went through another divorce, which sent her and her kids back to live with my parents. My brothers and sister look forward to this summer trip every year because it gives them free time. This year we're going to the Virginia Safari Park. Mother ran it past me that my sister mentioned wanting my younger nieces to go. I told her no. She's been quiet all these years, and now that she wants some free time, she wants my assistance. No. I have a relationship with all my brothers and sisters' children except hers. My mother said it's rough on her now and is asking me to be the bigger person, and this may sound childish, but I don't want to. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. I feel bad for your sister's kids and I think you're wrong to exclude them because of her bad behavior. But like you said, you don't know these kids. And it seems like a terrible idea to get to know them over a road trip while you're stuck together for a while. That could go awfully wrong and would be unfair to you, to them and to the other kids going. Maybe offer to take them for an afternoon this summer so they can hang out with you and your kids. Not the idiot. There are few things worse than people that treat you poorly until they need something. They always want you to be the bigger person when it matters to them. You don't owe her anything. She isn't trying to break the ice or she would have asked not your mom. She just wants a break. I wouldn't include her kids until she had the decency to talk to me. Not the idiot. She's allowed to decide that her ex's treatment of her was egregious enough that she can't stand to see anyone from his family, but she has to accept the consequences of that choice. And one of those is that you're not available to give her time away from the kids. Frankly, even asking for that without trying to mend the relationship at all is selfish and rude.